श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ अखण्डानन्दसम्बोधः वन्दनात् यस्य जायते गोविन्दं तमहं वन्दे चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुम्. So yesterday we saw yasya nirvishayam chittam hridayam yasya shītalam tasya mitram jagat sarvam tasya muktih karasthita. To whom the mind becomes devoid of any association with objects, sense objects. The mind is devoid of sense objects. And hridayam yasya shītalam, the heart, one's whose heart has become cold. We explained it very clearly that cold-heartedness does not mean he is without any emotions to others. It means that his mind has become silent. A dead body becomes cold, means dead body cannot perform any activity. Similarly, the mind becomes cold, means it does not have the ability to perform the activity. Okay, so tasya mitram jagat sarvam. So to him, the whole of the world becomes a friend. How does the whole of the world become a friend to him? Because there is no hatred or desire in him. Without hatred or desire, when a person stays, then the world has to become his friend. So, like we said in the story of Shukacharya was born after 10 years from, he came out of the womb after 10 years, poor mother. So Vyasa requested him, please come out. He said, no, if I come out, you will bind me in the samsara. I don't want to come out. I am happy here. Then he requested, please, we won't do it. Please come out. Everyone is looking at your mother and they are saying, 10 years, she is not letting her kid out. So she said, okay, I'll come, but you should not promise me. Okay, promised. He came out of and started running away into the forest. And because of the attachment for the son, Vyasa ran behind him calling, son, and all. Whereas Shuka was running naked into the forest. And they were the celestial Gandharva Loka ladies, the celestial ladies. They were taking bath in the pond there, naked. And they were all, they didn't even have an iota of shyness when they saw this person running naked. And at the same time, and the trees were afraid. Not afraid, they were like happy when they saw him. Same time, his father was coming behind, running, calling him his name, or calling him a son and all that, crying. He is fully dressed, but still the trees are afraid of him. And the celestial damsels, they were like shy. He said, what? I'm fully dressed. Why are you shy? We are not dressed. That's a different issue. The thing is, but he was totally naked. You are happy with it? He said, no, that is not the point. The point is, he didn't have iota of attachment for the body sense organ complex. Whereas you have not just attachment for your body, you have attachment for your son's body. That is why you are running behind him. So that is the difference. When you don't have the attachment for the body sense organ complex, meaning nirvishaya means what? We have already said mind is there, but it is not without object. It is without object now. Mind is always with object. It cannot be without object. But for this person with practice, it has become a without object. Meaning there is no attachment or there is no hatred, desire, etc. At that kind of state, naturally, he becomes a silent. And that is why he says, tasya mukti karasthita. His mukti is in his palm, meaning at hand's length, meaning he has not gained mukti. Just because your mind has become silent, that does not mean that you have gained mukti. You are ready for mukti if you put effort. That's all. That is what it denotes. It is not it's not, you cannot say it's an indicator for the, no, it is not an indicator. Because when you meditate for some time, there is nothing happening in the mind. Suddenly you say, see, I controlled my mind. That is the problem. That very moment, you have destroyed the peace. That very moment you have destroyed the person. There is no mind control now. So he says, for him, the mukti is at his palm's length. It is in his palm. Now what he has to do is he just has to consume it and experience it, enjoy it. That's all. So now he says, okay, cittaprasada, you have been terrifying us for cittaprasada for so long. What are the means? It is not that we didn't say anything before the sloka, but he forgot what we said before the sloka like you did. So he is repeating it again. What does he say? hitaparimitabhojī, nityamekāntasevī, sakṛducitahitoktiḥ, svalpanidrāvihāraḥ, anuniyamanaśīlo, yo bhajatyuktakāle, labhata iha śīghraṃ, sādhu cittaprasādam. He gains the cittaprasāda immediately. Who? hitaparimitabhojī, nityamekāntasevī 2. sakṛducitahitoktiḥ 3. svalpanidrāvihāraḥ 4. anuniyamanaśīlo 5. yo bhajatyuktakāle 6. When a person has these 6 qualities, sa labhate iha śīghraṃ sādhu cittaprasādam. Sādhu cittaprasādam sa labhate. Śīghraṃ labhate. Sādhu cittaprasādam, the grace of the mind. Sādhu cittaprasādam, that too. Not a simple cittaprasāda, a very nice cittaprasāda and very nice way of gaining the grace of the mind. Perfect grace from the mind. And that too, śīghraṃ, gains quickly. Who? Sa labhate, that person. Who is that person you are talking about? So, this person with these qualities, I said 6, but it is not just 6. There, every quality almost has 2 qualities into it. So, it is kind of 10 or 11 qualities. 11 or 12 qualities. Okay, understand this. hitaparimitabhojī. hitaparimitabhojī. Bhoji means bhojana, eating. So, one who eats. Bhoji means one who eats. Bhojana means food. One who eats is bhoji. Okay. So, he eats. Okay. That is tick. No, that is not tick. You eat. But what does he say? hitaparimitabhojī. One who eats hita. Hita means conducive. A food that is acceptable. That food, a food that the body receives and accepts. Sattvic food basically, but even if you say sattvic food, after age, what happens is this milk becomes allergent. So for some people, tea becomes an allergent. Now you have to avoid it. If it needs to be avoided, you have to avoid it. Because if that is going to bring an obstacle to your sadhana, then you can avoid it. Hita, whatever is conducive to your body, we have to consume it. Now, okay. Good. Thank you, Guruji. Why? This is exactly what I wanted. This is conducive. Chocolate is conducive for me. Sweet is conducive for me. Dump. No. He says, parimitabhojī. Parimita, that is a key word. You should have to eat a conducive food, but it should also be parimita. Parimita means limited. Means, why should he say this? This is a very important. When you say you eat, hitabhojī, a person who eats whatever is conducive for his health. If you say that, then he is going to eat a lot. To avoid that, he says parimitabhojī. What does that mean? Parimitabhojī means actually a person who does not eat completely cannot perform yoga. A person who eats a lot cannot perform yoga. For both, yoga is not possible. Why? Because for yoga means chitta vritti nirodha. Controlling your mind is what yoga is. Even if you understand that, in that aspect, if you want to control your mind, there are only 2 ways. Control your mind through controlling the prana. Control your prana through controlling the mind. There are only these ways. Because why? How can you control mind? By that you can control the prana. Or how can you control prana and get the mind controlled? How is that possible? Because they both, jnana shakti and kriya shakti, they both come from the same place. They spring from the same place. Jnana Shakti is your mind. Kriya Shakti is your prana. Both of them spring from the same place. That is why if one is controlled, the other automatically gets controlled. Okay, I understand. So what are you going to do? I will stop eating. Why? Because if I stop eating, there will be no strength for prana. Naturally, what he said is right. If you stop eating, your body functions very weak. You will not, who is there? I cannot see properly. Come closer. What? I cannot hear. Why? There is no food. You cannot hear. You cannot see. You cannot do anything. You cannot even speak. So why? Because the prana does not have the vital power which it needs to for functioning. Now, the external sense organs does not function. That is not the important thing. The external sense organ, the kriya, the sense organs of action, the karmendriya, that sense organs of action, they are part of the prana. A collective of them is prana. Now, this prana becomes weak. That should not be understood to be the mind will also become weak. No, that is the very dangerous situation actually. Your mind definitely becomes weak, but that is of no help. Because the moment you feed the prana, your mind springs back with venom. It becomes very powerful. It is like you are sick and you have been given an antibiotic course and you say, I don't follow the course. I am fine now. After one day you say, I am fine now. I don't need the antibiotic. It is making me very weak. Good. You stop the antibiotic. What happens is the disease comes back and it is not going to be controlled by this antibiotic. It has become more powerful than this antibiotic. That is why we call things of like superbug, etc. Though I don't eat the antibiotic, the chicken I eat eats antibiotic. The pork that eats antibiotic, I eats antibiotic, or the cow which I eat eats antibiotic. Therefore, antibiotic through different means. Then comes the superbug, which is not controllable through any antibiotic. So your mind becomes a superbug. It's already a bug. And now it becomes a super. It is already a super bug. Now, if you are going to tease it, how will it become? It will become very dangerous. So he says, parimita. That is why if you don't give any food, it is weak. Weak mind is not a pleasant mind. It is a very dangerous mind. When it becomes strong, then it is going to retaliate. Okay, I understood. I have to feed my mind, therefore, to keep it in good books. Therefore, I will feed the prana. I will eat more. No, that is also dangerous. How? Because when you eat more, naturally, what is going to happen? Your body becomes heavy. I'm not talking about fat. Your body becomes heavy. Heavy body means heavy prana. When you eat, people eat till the nose. You can't even breathe. I can't even breathe. Let me some time. Why? He has eaten so much. Now, if you eat so much, if you can't even breathe, how can your mind function? That will also go dormant. It will say, I won't work today. I have eaten so much. So, a mind which you have not fed cannot work. A mind which you have fed a lot cannot work. Both are useless for sadhana. And if you feed yourself a lot, what happens? You want, okay, I have fed enough. Now, don't ask me. I'm telling my own body. Don't mind. Don't ask me any food. I am now going to meditate. Why? Because the mind is set to an alarm clock. It is said that if you are tired, if you are weak, if you are at peace, go to sleep. These are all commands which you have already given as an input. Now it is receiving. Okay, sees, oh, I'm feeling heavy, tired. Over. You wanted to meditate, but you go into sleep. So, hitaparimitabhojī. That is why Ayurveda, see, we are not even talking about how much you should eat. That is impossible for the Shastra to say. Because for a person, maybe fat, maybe lean, he can feed himself with a handful of food. And I have seen thin, lean people eating like a group of soldiers. I'm not even talking about one person. A group of soldiers. They are hungry. They are after fight. They are tired. They are hungry. Eat. Simple lean. You think, you don't judge the book by the cover. They say, this is what I have learnt in the life of sadhu. If at all anything, this is important thing I learned. In a feast, I sat with next to, because I don't want myself to feel guilty. So I sat next to a lean person. And started eating. And when the sweet came, I said, okay, one more. Okay, fine, enough, good. Because sugar and all that. And this fellow, he said, okay, don't feel shy. He tells this person who is serving, you don't feel shy. So bring one more. He's not telling himself, he's telling the servant. Just don't feel shy. Put it. Go and bring some more. He ate like a 30-40 laddus. I can't even imagine how can a people eat only that with food. That many, even that alone cannot be possible. But this fellow eat food along with this 20-30 laddus or jalebis, I think. So, hitaparimitabhojī, you have to eat good food and limited food. Then what happens is your mind accepts and follows you, accepts your order. Now, it is ready for meditation only then. Okay, fine. Next, nityamekāntasevī. Ekāntasevī he has not said. He has said nityamekāntasevī. Ekāntasevī means one who has the habit of staying alone. He has not said that. He has said nityamekāntasevī. Why? Oh, it is very difficult. No. If you say ekāntasevī, it is that which you already practice. Already practice? No, Swamiji, I am always with my family. One or other, I am in a big family, so one or other person is always there in the house. Oh, that is true. You don't take them to your bathroom. You stay there alone, right? So, ekāntasevī, you are alone somewhere. So you cannot say, I am also staying alone somewhere, Swamiji, in the room. No, that is nityamekāntasevī, always alone. One who has the nature of staying alone. But this is not a accomplishment, because after understanding this, you go and stay alone, then it becomes a punishment actually. It is not an accomplishment. Why? That's why Bhagavan Bhashyakara says, satsangatve nissangatvam. If you don't practice the mind to stay alone and go to stay alone, then it is a psychological torture and you will have psychological issues. If not already, you will start again new. Because staying alone, all the patterns, mental patterns, whatever thought imprints you have, whatever experiences you have had, they all come up in front of you, and you will feel all of them to be real. There will be no difference between the real and unreal. This is exactly, as I said, it happened to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra had experienced all the sensorial things while he was a king emperor. After 75, he gave up everything and came to forest to meditate. Not because of vairagya. He didn't have any vairagya because of which he gave up the kingdom. He came to the forest because he wanted to take revenge on this person who had the Kamadhenu cow, who was not ready to give the Kamadhenu cow to the kingdom. Therefore, what is that you can do? I can do better. If you are a Brahmin and you can do sadhana, I am a Kshatriya, I can do even more better. He wanted to challenge that. That is why he came. He didn't come for vairagya. So your mind springs up new things. The celestial damsel will come and dance in front of you. All problems. These are all problems which your mind projects. So he says, ekāntasevī, you have to have the habit of staying alone. Then, sakṛducitahitoktiḥ. Okay. If you are with people, then what? How do you have to say? Blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. No. Sakṛt means once. He should have to speak once. Yes, over. Today, once over. Not that once. He should have to speak whatever he speaks once. Uchitahitoktiḥ. That should also be uchita, proper. Whatever he speaks should be proper, not improper things. He should speak proper things. Oh, I just want to see whatever is, I want to say whatever is the truth, whatever is the fact. I just want to say, I say. That is also wrong, because it should also be conducive. Hita. It should be proper. It should be proper for you and proper for the other person. If it is just proper for you and not proper for the other person, then there is a problem. If it is only proper for other person and not proper for you, that is also a problem. We have to remember. We always try to accommodate the other person by saying yes, yes, and no, no to their. The idea is we try to please them by saying what they want to hear. That's a problem. You stick to yourself by not accepting the other. That is also a problem. So we should have to have a halfway. We can only meet halfway. That is the only way we can survive in this world. Hitaparimita. That is why he says uchitahitoktiḥ. We have to speak whatever is proper and correct. So he says svalpanidrāvihāraḥ. And how much should we sleep and how much should we work? That is also said. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, yukta ahara viharaschet. Yukta ahara viharaḥ. He should have to eat proper, limited. Yukta, proper, limited. And vihara, he should have to act only proper, limited. A person who sleeps, here we will take the svalpa nidra, svalpa viharaḥ. He should have to sleep less. One who sleeps, who does not sleep, for him also yoga is not there. One who sleeps a lot, for him also yoga cannot be practiced by him also. Why? If you are not sleeping, then when you sit in meditation, that silence, you will automatically, when you close your eyes, automatically you will go to sleep. That is also not proper. When you sleep a lot, then that itself creates a tiredness. Actually, you have been sleeping and you are tired. Why? Because of sleeping. That is why people don't want to get up after a big long sleep. They don't want to get up from the bed. I'm so tired. You have been relaxing the whole day. You have been sleeping the whole day. Yes, that is why I am tired. So this is what happens. So you should not avoid sleep completely, or you should not sleep always. Yukta, svalpa means yukta, proper sleep. Whatever is demanded by your body, you have to give that. You can practice. You can tame it. If it's demanding 10 hours of sleep, you can tame it as 9 hours, 55 minutes. Slowly, I mean. So he says, nidra also, vihara also, activity also. If you don't do any activity, you sit like couch potato, then the body not only becomes heavy, your mind also will become heavy. You cannot function. If you are going to work like a machine from day to night, then the body becomes tired. Therefore, you cannot meditate. So you have to have some limit to these things. Whatever is the proper limit, he is not saying this is what is the right. 2 hours of sleep per day, 3 hours of sleep per day. That doesn't fit everyone. One size does not fit everyone. So we have to understand this. You have to eat proper. Whatever is proper, that you have to. While eating, the yoga, the Ayurveda Shastra prescribes half stomach full of food. The rest half you divide into two. One portion you fill with water and the other portion leave it for air. That is the proper way of eating. Half food, rest half of it will be filled with water. The rest will be left for the air movement, for a healthy body. So here he says yukta vihara, svalpa vihara, yukta vihara. You have to perform the activity only as much as needed, as much as possible. That's all. Not heavy, not less, nothing. Okay. Now, anuniyamanaśīlo. Anuniyamanaśīlo. Shīla means habit. Niyamana means control. Anu means following. Following controlled habit. What is following controlled habit? Following what? Whatever is prescribed in the Shastra, those Shastric values, one who has the habit of following that and controlling his mind. That is the kind of a person we are talking about. A person who has the habit of following the scriptural teachings. Now, if you do all this, then yah uktakāle bhajati. The sixth one is yah uktakāle bhajati. One who does bhajana. Bhajana means worship, or it can be meditation, it can be chanting, anything. Uktakāle, in the prescribed time. Prescribed time means I'll say 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, my 5 o'clock or your 5 o'clock. There's a difference. Problem starts there. Okay. My time, not in that. It is not my time nor your time. It is a general time. Well, let us say. Then what is the time prescribed in the Shastras? Shastras is Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta means you should not get up at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is Rakshasa Muhurta. So 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock you get up. 4 o'clock the Brahma Muhurta starts. And some people can't even get up at 4 o'clock. It's okay. Get up. Now you have to take bath. 4 o'clock, take bath. That is too much to ask for. No. Okay. If you can't take bath, just wash your face and come and sit in the meditation. Now, that is something possible. That is difficult, not daily. Okay. Guruji said to get up and do meditation, right? Why should I wash my face? I'll just sit here. Wherever the bed with all that cover, he just covers himself and meditates there. I've seen people sitting there and meditating. Okay, so that meditation is possible. But the thing is, Uktakala does not mean Brahma Muhurta is 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, does not really matter, because our time is, the clock has changed a lot. Earlier, as I said, earlier they used to have a rhyme: early to bed, early to rise. Now no one goes early to bed, and early to rise is impossible, because they don't go to bed early. Because of this, in India, what is preventing them from going to bed earlier? Big Boss. I'm not talking about the boss who is bigger. I'm talking about the serial which takes place in the TV called Big Boss. They want to watch a live show. I want to watch what is happening. Now, this whole program is a problem. So he says, Uktakāle. Uktakāla again. What is Uktakāla then? Whatever time you wake up, let us suppose you wake up at 6 o'clock, fine with me. It is good. 6 o'clock. Keep it at 6 o'clock every day. Don't change the time. Keep it at 6 o'clock precise. Every day. 7 o'clock, keep it at 7 o'clock. I don't care. But that will be a practice. You tame your mind by making it your slave, not me being its slave. No, 7 o'clock. I told myself, I promised myself I'll wake up at 7 o'clock. I'm getting up at 7 o'clock. Over. That is the practice we have to give our mind, to control our mind. Now, at that point of time, we say, okay, I'll wake up at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or whatever, and I will do japa for this many hours. That you have to practice consistently. That is what is Uktakāle. A prescribed time, which you prescribed for yourself, self-prescribed. For that time, you have to do every day consistently. So, when a person does all this, saha iha śīghraṃ sādhu cittaprasādam labhate. That person who has all these qualities, only he gains the peace of mind, the grace of mind quickly, in a nice way. Okay, because quickly and nice way, he has used two words, because when you say quickly, then sometimes when you do things quickly, you tend to destroy the thing, not give a proper completion. So he says nicely also, but quickly also. He gains the grace of mind. Now, cittaprasada, what will he gain cittaprasada? That is another question. Because grace of mind or cittaprasada or chitta shuddhi, if it is not going to bring us towards the shastra, it is not even useful for tongue cleaning. I have kept it repeating again, because I was in this place, this temple town, and I was going somewhere, and this young boy, I didn't know him. He came and did a prostration and said, Swamiji, how are you, and all that. I said, okay. What are you doing? Are you studying? That is the only question I can ask him. He said, no, I'm doing japa. Japa? For what? He said, no, I'm not studying. And he said, I'm doing japa. For what? Chitta shuddhi. What will you do with chitta shuddhi? It is not even useful for tongue cleaning. If it doesn't bring you to shastra. Chitta shuddhi should normally bring you to shastra, but because of your previous fixations, your mental pattern, I don't want to study shastra. This kind of stupidity, it will not, even if you have purity of heart, it will not bring you to shastra. So then the whole purity of heart game is useless. So he says, cittaprasādena vināvagantuṃ bandhaṃ na śaknoti parātmatattvam tattvāvagatyā tu vinā vimukti na sidhyati brahmasahasrakoṭiṣu. cittaprasādena vinā avagantuṃ bandhaṃ na śaknoti parātmatattvam tattvāvagatyā tu vinā vimukti na sidhyati brahmasahasrakoṭiṣu. Beautiful. Cittaprasādena vinā. Without the purity of heart, without the grace of heart, without the peace of heart, peace of mind. Okay, what happens? Bandhaṃ. You have to understand, na śaknoti avagantuṃ. You cannot understand that you are in bondage. You are bound by the samsara. Even that to understand. Oh, that's part of life. Pain, sometimes pleasure, sometimes. This is part of life. People start accepting it. People don't even understand that they are in pain. They are in bondage in the samsara. They don't even have to have the clarity to understand that. Why? Because there is no grace of mind. The punya has not fructified. Only when the punya fructifies, you understand that I have to get rid of this cycle of bondage of birth and death. Only then that kind of desire itself possible. Now, that is there. But without the chitta prasada, if you are going to understand the bondage and not take any action, then that is useless. So what action should I take? Study shastra. For that, you need chitta prasada again. That chitta prasada is over. Now, you need another package of chitta prasada. So that is why he says, if without chitta prasada, to understand that I am in bondage is impossible. Without chitta prasada vinā, again, without the chitta prasada, parātmatattvam avagantuṃ na śaknoti, you cannot understand the absolute truth, the absolute self. Okay, if I have chitta prasada, can I understand the absolute self without any difficulty? No. Why? You said without chitta prasada, I cannot understand the self. Yes, without chitta prasada, you cannot understand the self, but chitta prasada itself cannot give you the self. What do I need? He says, tattvāvagatyā vinā. You have to understand the tattva, the truth. Without gaining the tattva, without understanding the tattva, that is why Shastra very clearly says, na anyah pantha vidyate ayanaya. There is no other path to understand this truth. There is no other path. So, without understanding the tattva, the Vedanta, what will happen? He says, brahmasahasrakoṭiṣu vimukti na sidhyati. You will not gain liberation. That is simple. He is not saying that simple. He wants us to remember. So he says, brahmasahasrakoṭiṣu. Sahasra means 1,000. Koti means crores, millions. So thousands of billions of not lives. He is talking about Brahma's lives, not even our life. Our 100 years is Brahma's one day. Our 100 years is Brahmaji's one day. Now, if you calculate this, there will be so many zeros. I can't even pronounce that number. I can't even count the number of zeros. So difficult it is. Without the knowledge of Vedanta, whatever you do, even if you have the purity of heart, there is no use. You have to understand the truth. Only after understanding the truth, you can get rid of the bondage. So that understanding the truth, you don't have to, after understanding the truth, you don't have to wait for even one day of our life. Forget about Brahmaji's life. You don't have to even waste 1 second of our life. Understand the truth, immediate over. Job done. So next, it is said manaḥprasādaḥ, but manaḥprāmādaḥ is the better reading. manaḥprāmādaḥ puruṣasya bandhaṃ, manaḥprasādaḥ bhavabandhamuktiḥ, manaḥprasādādhigamāya tasmā manaonirāsaṃ vidadhīta vidvān. manaḥprāmādaḥ puruṣasya bandhaṃ, manaḥprasāda bhavabandhamuktiḥ, manaḥprasādādhigamāya tasmā manaonirāsaṃ vidadhīta vidvān. manaḥprāmādaḥ, pramada we have seen already, pramādo vimukti, that statement. Pramada means carelessness. Carelessness is death. We have seen this again and again. Now, manaḥprāmādaḥ, the carelessness of mind, what is it? Puruṣasya bandhaṃ is the bondage for the person. Carelessness is death, means carelessness leads to bondage. Therefore, it is in the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, you will be in samsara. So, carelessness leads to bondage. Carefulness. He says, manaḥprasādaḥ, carefulness or gaining the grace of mind, the peace of mind. What happens? Bhavabandhamuktiḥ, you will gain release from the bondage of samsara. Bhava, samsara, bandha, bondage, mukti, release. You will be released from the bondage of samsara. Okay. Tasmā. Therefore, what should I do? I should be pramada. I should follow the pramada, carelessness. No. Then what? Vidvān. This smart one, this intelligent one, this wise one, what should he do? manaḥprasādādhigamāya. To gain this manaḥprasāda, to acquire this manaḥprasāda, what should he do? manaonirāsaṃ vidadhīta. He should have to control the mind. Manonirāsaṃ, discard the mind. Manonirāsaṃ, discard the mind. How do I throw the mind? I want to throw the mind, but where is it? Mind is not an object. That is why the Russians, when they are asked, what is mind? No matter. What is matter? Never mind. They answer very clearly. So they used to say this is the truth. If you start searching the mind, you cannot find anything called mind, because mind is not a product of processed element. It is a process of unprocessed element. Therefore, you cannot find it. This is mind, this is mind. We just say, I think. If you say, I think, I can say, I think. Everywhere thinking is possible. The point is, if you want to control the mind, the only way to control the mind is not to slap it, but not feeding it. Not feeding it means not giving it any association with objects. Giving up the attachments for objects, giving up the association with objects is the only way to get rid of the mind. That is why a saying poet in Tamil has said, Sinam irakka kattalum siddhiyellam pettalum manam irakka kallarku vaarayam paravarame. These are few slokas which I memorized, so don't think, oh, Guruji knows a lot of Tamil slokas. No, I don't know. He says, even if you learn to control your anger, even if you have gained all these supernatural accomplishments, if you have not understood the means to get rid of the mind, the absolute will not be gained by him. You can get rid of your anger, you can gain the accomplishment, does not really matter. Without getting rid of the mind, you will not be able to understand the self. So that is why we have to practice the manaonirāsaṃ, getting the mind rid of the objects. That is what we have to do. We will see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.